Hi everyone, it has been so long since I have last filmed a video, so I feel a little bit rusty, but it is so nice to be back and to dance with you all again. Today we are going to do a beginner bar focused on hip alignment. It is something that is very relevant to what I am personally doing in physical therapy because of my back injury. We're going to get started with some warm-up exercises before we get into our pliés. So I want you to start with standing on your left leg, right leg lifted off the ground. Doesn't really matter what this right leg is doing. We're really just focused on what our hips are doing right now. What I want you to do is to shift your weight to the left and just kind of sit in this hip, and the hip is sticking out a little bit to the side and back. For some people, this is a very common position to stay in for a long time, like when you're chatting with somebody or whatever. Just because there's just no muscle engagement, it's easier to stay longer in this position. So again, we're here sitting in that hip, using the glute, pulling your hip under you and pulling up right here. I feel my glute right now squeezing. And try sitting that hip again and pulling up nice and long. Remember, we're not pulling so that you're shifted to the other side now. We're just pulling up using the glute. So let's do a few more of this together. I want you to really focus on what your muscles are doing, really. So we'll stick our hip out to the side, pulling up, squeezing the glute, that's 1. Out, pulling up, this is 2. This is 3. And out. This is 4. This is 5. And 6, just 2 more. Out. 7. Last one. Really try to feel your glute and your thighs essentially pulling up here. So now let's try the same concept, but in a turned out position. So everyone, I want you to just go on coupe right now. And you can stick your hip to the side and pull up and under. Stick your hip out, pull up and under, right? We can do the same thing. And I want you to notice now that when we're turned out, the hips are not really perfectly in a straight line. The higher your leg goes, the more your hips will start to tilt. And things also change significantly when your leg is behind you. The idea of squareness and being in a straight line kind of goes out the window. You keep some concepts of it, but it really won't look like a perfect straight line. So when I'm standing on both legs, my hips are in a nice straight line. But when I go into passe, I can feel this hip lifting up a little bit. So there is a little bit of a tilt. What you don't want is to tilt your hip so much and hike this hip up so much that you're kind of sticking your butt out to the other side. But you also don't want to do the extreme opposite of that, where you're just completely sitting on this hip with no muscle engagement. You don't want this, but you don't want this. You want something in between, but there's a lot of in between. Everything is really going to depend on your anatomy, and every person is just going to look a little bit different, but that's okay. I just want you to be aware of that. Try to do 8 of the sitting and pulling up and sitting and pulling up in passe on the left leg. All right, getting ready? We'll sit, pull up, sit in the hips, pull up, that's 2. We're going to go to 8, and up, that's 3. Can really feel my glutes here. Up, that's 4. Up, that's 5, 6, 7, last one, 8. Alrighty, so let's try the same thing on the other side now. Starting in parallel, we're standing on the right leg now, and we'll sit, stick the hip out to the right, pull up using the right glute, sit, pull up, and sit. This is 3, we're gonna go all the way to 8. 4, and sit, 5, sit, 6, and 7, last one, pull up. Okay, good. Let's do the same thing in passe now. Take a little bit of time to play with this position. Just kind of play with it here to see what it's like, right? Everyone's going to be different again. These are not true hip hikes, but that's just what I'm going to call this exercise for right now. So we'll sit in the hips and up. Sit and 2. Sit and 3. Sit and 4. Sit and 5. Sit, 6 and 7. And 8. Great job, everyone. So let's get straight into our pliés. I'll try not to talk too much here. We'll start with 2 demis, 1 grand. 1 and 2, come up 3 and 4, again, 5 and 6, come up squeezing the thighs. Now 1 and 2, all the way down, 5 and 6, 7 and 8. 2 demis, 1 grand here. Then we'll move on to 2 demis, 1 grand, right foot front, 5th position. Tendu back, 2 demis, 1 grand, left foot front. I think you are all experts in this combination, so let's just get straight into it. 6, 7 and 8. Demi plié. 3 and 4. Again. 7 and 8. Deepest demi that you can. Then go to grand. Press to demi, all the way up. Tendu. 1, 2. Knees side, up, squeeze the glute, and down. Fifth position, and demi, 2, up. Make sure the weight is equally distributed on both feet right now. Knees side. Squeeze up. Tendu close. Make sure that both of the feet are equally turned out. Sometimes we are tempted to turn out the front foot a little bit more than the back. And knee side. It's so hard slow. Press to demi, all the way up. Let's tendu, close in first. Great job, everyone. Now we'll move on to our tendu combination. It's going to be quite a long one, so there's a part A and a part B. We'll get started with 4 tendus front, 5 and 6 and 7 and 8. Tendu front and close and front and close and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8. Now slow it to the side. 1 and 2, close 3 and 4, 5 and 6, 7 and 8. 4 to the back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Slower to the side. 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5 and 6, 7 and 8. So that was 4 front, 2 side, 4 back, 2 side. Now let's move on to part B of the combination. We'll start with plié tendu for 1 and 2, squeeze in 3 and 4, again 5 and 6, squeeze into 5th and 8, to the side for 2 counts and close front, 2 counts, to the side, 2 counts, to the back, 2 counts. Now to the back, same thing, plié. It's gonna be really tricky to keep that knee bent into the side here, but I really want you to try your best because it's really important that we keep turned out in our standing leg. And then the last thing we're gonna do is 1 and 2, coupe 3 and 4. If you can let go, 5, 6, 7, 8. You don't have to let go if you're not comfortable. And then we'll end with just putting our right foot front in 5th position. What I really want you to focus on is your hip position. So in first position, when you're standing on both legs, weight equally distributed, your hips are nice and straight and in parallel. And the moment you Tendu, all of your weight is now on the left leg, which will change your hip position slightly. So my hip is here and it has to shift to the side, but not so much that there's no engagement. I'm still pulling up in the glute, but I'm not pulling up so much that I'm sticking out to the other side now, right? So there's an in-between that you want. Tendu and close. And when you close, even though it looks like I'm on 2 feet, I'm really on 1 because there's not a lot of weight here, right? This is what you don't want. Tendu, shift. Tendu, shift, where I'm putting my weight back onto the right leg every time I come back. That's not what's happening. We're staying on this leg the whole entire time. And then, your side and your back and your side. You know what to do. When we move on to part B of this combination, again, focusing on the hips. When you tendu front and you have to plie on one leg, it's a little bit tricky. Even though your knee is bent, you're still keeping the glute engaged. So none of this, just straight down, straight up. And again, like in our tendu, there's not that much weight when I close. It looks like there might be a little bit of weight, but really not much. Plie and up. Plie, knee side here, really making sure we're turned out and close, plie and close, 2 to the side. And the last one, you want to do a coupe balance, a great chance to work on your hip position here. None of this, none of this. You want to be just pulled up and straight. And this is just a really short bar combination. I can talk about this for a really long time because there's just so many cases where the idea of pulling up does not really work out for most folks. For example, when I had my disc herniation, my hips were shifted for most of this year and a little bit of last year. If you asked me to stand up straight, this is kind of what it looked like for me to stand up straight. And to me, it felt straight. So I had to spend a lot of time working that shift and really getting myself back into parallel. So even though I look straight up and down right now, it kind of feels like I'm doing this. And I know that's not what I'm doing. I'm just pulled up. But in my head, because I've been shifted the other way so long, this to me feels like I'm sitting. So I hope that adds a little bit of color and complexity into understanding hip shifts. It's a very complicated subject, but you are all doing very well. All right, let's get started in the combination now. 6, 7, and 8. Tendu front, close, front, close, and 5, 6, 7, and 8. Slower to the side. 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. For to the back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Slow. 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, and 6, 7, and 8. Plie 1, 2, squeeze in 3, 4, and 5, 6, 7, and 8. To the side, close front, to the side again, close back. 1, knee side. This is really tricky here. Knee side. And 1, 2. Now coupe. Focus on whether or not you're sitting or hiking your hip up too much here. You can let go if you're confident, feeling good. And then we'll put our foot down into 5th position to the front. Great job, everyone. I want to make sure that we're really clear on what the coordination of the tendu plie is. We're making it a little bit difficult by doing a plie and a tendu at the same time in 2 counts, and then a strain and a coming back in 2 counts. So it's not broken down like 1, 2, 3, 4. It's really 1, 2, 3, 4. Alrighty, let's get into the left side. 6, 7, 8. To the front, close, front, close. 7 and 8. Slower. 1, 2, 3, 4. Really point your foot as hard as you can here. I'm giving you a lot of time to do that. Straight back. Pull the abs up. And 5, 6, 7, and 8. Let's focus on pointing that foot while still keeping the alignment of the hip correct. 7 and 8. Plié, tendu, front. Press and close. Tendu, front. And press that foot in the ground as you come back in. And side. We'll close front here. 3 and 4. Knees side as much as you can. 7, 8. To the back. 3 and 4. Really focus on pulling your core up even as you plie. 7 and 8. Get into a balance. Coupe. If you can, let go. And then you can come back and close. Great job. Moving on to our jetés or dégagés with piqués / pricks. So we'll get started in 5th position, right foot front. 5 and 6 and 7 and 8. And tendu and lift and tendu. Close and tendu and lift and tendu and close. And 1, 2, hold 3, 4, and up 5 and 6, point and close. To the side, tendu and jeté and tendu and close. Tendu and lift and tendu and close. And 1, hold 2, hold 3, hold 4, and 5, and 6, and tendu, close, back. Same thing, tendu and lift and tendu and close. This is 5, lift 6, 7, and 8. 1, hold 2, hold 3, hold 4, piqué on 5 and 6, tendu and close. So we're not doing this on quad. The last thing we're doing is we're going to tendu to the side 1 and 2, lift 3 and 4. Get your hip alignment correct by count of 8, and then you have balance off the bar. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then we'll tendu, close, front. The last balance is going to be quite tricky, and you're going to get a little bit tired, but make sure that you're not doing this with the hip or doing this with the hip. Still focus on pulling up, okay? It's a little bit trickier now that this leg is heavier and off the ground. 7 and 8. Tendu, up. Tendu and lift. Faster, up, hold, 3, 4, 5, 6, tendu and close. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, up, 7 and 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, up 5, up 6, tendu and close. To the back, lift. Back, lift. Jeté, hold, hold, hold. 2 piqués, tendu and close. Now off the ground, balance. 5, 6, fix your hip alignment if you need to, and if you can, see if you can let go. 5, 6, 7, 8. We'll tendu, close in 5th. Great, that was quite fast and quite hard. So just a very quick reminder, I know none of you are doing this, but just in case, piqués or the pricks is just a leg motion. There is no hip motion with it. We're just isolating the leg right here while keeping the hip very stable. Okay, going straight into the left side. Left foot front, 5th position. 7 and 8. Tendu and lift, tendu and close. Jeté, hold, 3, 4, down, up, tendu and close to the side. We'll close back. Close front and jeté, hold, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 to the back. Piqué, piqué, tendu and close. Balance. Take your time here. You don't have to let go of the bar if you're not ready. 5, 6, 7, 8. Close. We're gonna go back to first position for our ronde jambes. We are gonna do a very, very simple but tough exercise. Let's start with 5, 6, 7, and 8. Tendu front and 2. All the way back and close. Again, 5 and 6 and 7 and 8. 2 more, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8. Reversing this whole thing. So 4 ronde jambes, very broken down, very slow. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2 more, back, side, front, close first. Last one, back, side, front, close first. The actual music will be a lot slower than what I'm counting it as. And then at the end, we'll just plié, rise in first position, balance for 16 counts, open, and then come down. Hip alignment for ronde jambes is quite tricky because your leg is moving the whole entire time. So when you tendu front, make sure again that you're pulled up and not sitting on the standing leg. Side, so not much has changed from front to side, but when you go back is when things will change quite a bit. So from side to back, this hip will have to go back, okay? But you want to make sure that twist is minimized as much as possible by using the working leg and the glute on the working leg to squeeze up, 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 pulling up, pulling up, pulling up. So if you let go, it'd be here. You have to pull up. Starting in first position, thighs are turned out, rotating. Both glutes are squeezing against each other. 7 and 8. To the front and side, back, close first. Pull up. Again. Last one in this direction. Close in first. Reverse. Back, side. Make sure this foot is as pointed as possible. Last one. Close in first. We'll plié, rise, five, 6, 7, and 8. All right, let's calm down. No breaks, we're gonna go straight into the left side. 6 and 7 and 8. Tendu front, ronde jambe, all the way back, close first. Really articulate that foot. Pull up in the standing leg. Your glute should be working really hard to stabilize everything. To the back, side, front, close, back, side, front. You're almost there. Last one. Plié and up. Equal turnout right here. Tummy up. Neck long and relaxed. 5, 6, 7, and 8. All right, let's slowly come down. Next, we'll move on to ronde jambe en l'air, or ronde jambes in the air. Before we get into this, I will just say, I'm sorry. You'll see what I mean. We're gonna start off the ground. 5, 6, lift 7, and 8. Come in 1 and 2, scoop up and forward, 3 and 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2 more, 1, 2, and 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Other direction, forward, in, straight out, and in, straight out to the side, in, straight out to the side, in, straight out to the side. So the music obviously is going to be much, much slower than what I was counting it as. If you have never ever done Ronde Jambe en l'air before, or you're not familiar with the positioning, don't worry about it. I want you to think of this as a passe exercise. So passe, straight out, in, forward 2, straight out, forward 2. But if you have done Ronde Jambe en l'air and you know the en dehors and en dedans direction, that's what I want you to do. So you can do this combination at 45 degrees like what I was demonstrating, or you can do this combination a lot lower and that won't be as tough on the body. It just depends on where you are in your journey. But something I don't want you to do is to try this at 90 degrees or higher. Trust me, it's just not going to be fun. All right, let's get into it. For Ronde Jambe en l'air, en dehors, slow, and then 4 in the other direction. If you've never done Ronde Jambe en l'air, to you, this is going to be 8 passes, very slow. All right, let's get into it. Again, we're going to start with Tendu off the ground. 7 and 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 on your direction or away from the standing leg. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Keep that foot pointed. Your standing leg should be burning. 3, 4. You're more than halfway there. You can do it. 2 more. En dedans. 2, 3, 4. Light touch from the bar. I know it's hard. We'll just tendu. Close in first position. Shake out your legs just a little bit. I know this is tough, but you can do it. Let's go into the left side now. Again, starting off the ground. 6, 7 off the ground. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's no shame in having a lower leg. We're really focusing on keeping the hip alignment correct. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now, en dedans. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2 more. You're so close. Pull up in the core. And of course, pull up in the standing leg. Little tendu. We'll close. You can breathe. Good job. All right, so we are going to move on to some Petit Battements, but before we get started, I want to go over some terminology so that we are all on the same page here. So we're going to begin with wrapping that right foot on the left leg. This is called a sur le coup de pied position. My heel is front, my toe is back. Let me show you what that looks like to the side. So right here, heel is in the front of the leg, toe is in the back of the standing leg. A lot of teachers will call this a sur le coup de pied position. That means on the neck of the foot. Some teachers will just call this a coupe on the leg. To me, it doesn't really matter what you want to call them. I just want you to know what all the variations are. And then you can bring this position to the front where your toe is in the front of the leg and the heel is kind of in the air. So this, again, can be a simple coupe front, or it can be a coup de pied devant. Devant is front in French. So again, you have this front coupe or coup de pied devant. You have wrapped position or on the foot position or sur le coude position. And then you can bring this back to be a coup de pied derrière. Derrière means back, or a coupe back. It's just going to depend on who's teaching and what they decide to call it. I use the word coupe most of the time because it's kind of just easier to say it instead of saying the full thing, but I just want you to know what the official terminology is in case you go out and dance in the world. Before I get into the counts, I just want to show you what we're doing. We're going to begin with a wrapped position or a sur le coup de pied position. We'll open slightly and then we'll coupe back or coup de pied derrière. Okay, good. Open on the leg, open, back, open on the leg, open, back. That's essentially all we're doing. And now let's do this whole thing with counts. So we're gonna start in a wrapped position with 5, 6, 7, and 8. And open to the back and open and wrap. 5, 6, 7, 8. And 1, 2. Pull up in the hip. 5, 6, 7, and 8. We'll balance for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then another 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We'll grab the bar and then do half of this all over again. So we'll do 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8. So instead of doing 16, we're doing 8 the second time around, and then an 8 count balance. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You can grab the bar and then come down. So the first part, we're doing 16 counts of these broken down petit battements, and then 16 counts of balancing. The repeat is only half as long, so you're doing 8 counts of these petit battements and 8 counts of balance with the foot wrapped. All right, let's get into it. Start with the foot wrapped, nice and pointed. Hips, of course, pulled up. Open to the back. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Really focus on the pulling up. 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 more. Woo. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Open, back. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Now just balance. Pulling up the core, and of course the hip. All right, that's it. You can grab the bar, you can put your foot down. That was a lot. If you're working correctly, the bottom of your feet or your arches will be burning throughout this exercise. But we're working on shaping that foot and keeping a nice shape the whole entire time. And even though I can't see what your foot is doing, and you might not be able to see what your foot is doing when it's in the back, we still really want to focus on keeping a nice and turned out and pointed position, okay? So no sickling, no letting the toes get really close to your leg or touching your leg. Still toes back, heel forward, toes back, always. Okay, starting with a sur le coup de pied or a wrapped position. So we'll stay here, prepping ourselves. 7 and 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Balance if you can. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Pull up in the hip. Feel really tall in your neck. 5, 6, 7, and 8. Again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's shorter. 7 and 8. Let go. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's it. You're done. Now we're moving on to an exercise that I have never introduced in any of the series, but I recently started doing it in my recovery journey and I have found a lot of benefits. So I want to start incorporating it now. We're going to start in first position. We're going to do something called Relevé Lent. It means slow rise, and it's going to be a slow rise of the leg. We'll start in first position, 5 and 6 and 7 and 8. Tendu side, 4, 2, lift 3 and 4, hold 5, hold 6, tendu 7, and close again. 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5 and 6. You can Tendu on 7 and 8. Now 2 to the back. 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5 and 6, 7 and 8. Last time. 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5 and 6, 7 and 8. Going straight into the left side with 1, 2, 3, 4, hold 5, hold 6, 27 and 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. And then 2 to the back. 2 side, 2 back, 2 side, 2 back. And with this exercise, it is dancer's choice with whatever height you want to hold. There is no use in getting your leg really high if you have the wrong hip alignment. Today, all we're focusing on is whatever it is that you can do while still being pulled up in the standing leg. Okay, let's get into it, everyone. 7 and 8. 1, 2, lift 3, 4, hold 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. To the back. Whatever height. Hold 5, 6, 7, and 8. 1, 2. Both knees are stretched. Other side. Tendu. 1, 2, lift 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. You can do it. Really keep that foot pointed, core pull up. 7 and 8. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You made it through. Great job, everyone. So we did Relevé Lent to the side, to the back, and now we're gonna do the same thing, but to the front. Sometimes in the Russian school, this Relevé Lent to the front is taught with you holding a bar behind you and you raise your leg. But I don't really like that because it changes the upper body and throws the upper body out of alignment when your arms are behind you. So I'm gonna do it with one hand to the bar. If you have a very, very high bar that you're not gonna kick the bar, then you can have 2 hands on the bar, but I'm gonna demonstrate this exercise with 1 hand. All right, so we're gonna do the same thing that we were doing earlier. 5, 6, 7, and 8. And a 1, 2, lift 3, 4, hold 5, hold 6, Tendu 7, and 8. Then of course again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. That's it. It's gonna be a very, very short exercise. Let's get into it. You did such a great job. You're almost done with class. 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Last one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Not too bad, right? We're gonna go straight into the other side now. 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, keep your hips pulled up. 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You're all done. And I promise you, even though it felt like it was super slow, that music was 20% faster than most of my other options. So you're welcome. Of course, if you really, really want to focus on strengthening, I recommend doing a ton of Relevé Lents every day, pretty much. We're gonna go on to the last exercise. I'm not gonna give you a demo of it because I'm just gonna call the whole thing out. We're gonna start with rise and balance in 8 counts. Plié 7 and 8. Balance 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Right foot front 5th position. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Other side. Remember, you don't have to let go if you're not comfortable. Do what you can. Coupe now. Really pull up in the standing hip. Other side. My core is very, very engaged. Passe. Do what you can. You're almost done, I promise. And then last one, let's just balance in first position with our arms high. Open. Nice deep plie. Squeeze up. You did such an amazing job today. Thank you so much for dancing with me. I hope to see you all in whatever the next thing I make is. Bye, everyone.